What's up guys? We are doing the first oil change on the 2GR MR2. I've put a couple hundred miles on this swap now. Everything's going really good at this point, but this still is a junkyard engine. So I just want to drain the oil to inspect it and make sure that there's no funny business going on. I think it's going to end up being fine, but better safe than sorry. Always want to do my due diligence. And so we're going to find out here in just a second. This stuff that you see on the screen here, it may look like it's shiny metal, but that's actually just bubbles, so that's not any cause for concern. Fluid's completely drained, and there's nothing that really sticks out. Like, it's not sparkly or anything like that. If I dip my finger in, everything looks good. Next, we're checking the oil filter. I probably should have taken off this plastic under tray, but whatever, what's done is done. We got the oil filter out and I've inspected it already. There's not any debris or anything like that in there. My biggest concern was potentially finding metal, but no, it looks good. There's nothing wrong with it. Same thing with the oil filter housing. So overall, I'm very happy with this. Gone ahead and put the new oil filter in place and also replaced the O-ring. One thing I did want to mention on the bottom there is that this little piece, this little guy right here, actually comes undone and there's a gasket. So had I been able to loosen this when it was on the car still, I could have undone that and then used this little plastic piece to press on, I'm assuming that's a valve in there, to release the oil. What happened though was this guy was on there too tight, and that was my fault because I was the one that did this last. So that just means I over tightened it. Now we'll just screw it in. Next time I do this, I'm just gonna probably end up removing this little plastic tray. The oil filter's in and snugged down, so all that's left to do is fill up the car. For the engine oil, I gotta get myself a funnel that screws right into the valve cover because that's gonna make this so much easier to fill up in the future. I also do slightly overfill it a little bit by about half a quart. With that combined with the oil pan baffle that I have in this car is hopefully gonna save this engine when I take it to the track. And now we just need to make sure that the dipstick does read that the engine oil is filled up, which it does. It's slightly overfilled, just like how I planned on it, so we're good to go. Last thing to do is put the sticker on so I can remember when I have to change the oil next. The sticker is put on, and this is just a reminder to myself so I know when to change the oil next. Essentially when the odometer hits 213K on the car, or if I haven't hit the mileage interval yet, when March of 2026 comes around, I'll do it then. So whichever comes first. We are pretty close to hitting the track with this car now. All that's left to do is I have an axle seal that I need to replace. That's easy enough to do. And then I gotta get in alignment and she's ready to hit the track.